and logged in about 5:50, and at 6:00 y'all still weren't here. And at 6:02 it dawned on me that this meeting was at 7. So I backed out.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good night. Good evening.
Good evening. Good night. No.
Good night. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Can you let him know we'll be doing both tomorrow? What I'll be doing.
Okay. All right.
Jim's trying to message me on message. Hello, anyways. Welcome, everybody. Everybody over there on YouTube. We got people over there and here. Hello, I'm Tammy. This is my husband, Lance. We are the Journey to Keto team, and we're here to work you through all your little health struggles and try to get you consistently keto and building health every day of the week. So that's what we're trying to do here. We got a lot of cool things we're pushing through right now. Who all's doing our sardine challenge with us? Everybody doing it? All right. Sardine challenge is going down, and I know I've had a lot of questions.
Doing it.
Is he doing it? Yes.
Right.
Everybody's having questions all about the. Can you hear us? Can you guys hear us?
Okay.
Okay.
Rob and Linda
cannot hear us. Okay, just making sure we weren't muted. So we are using the sardines, and there's so many magic little things in these sardines that everybody's questioning and asking why we're eating sardines. And no, God, no, they'd never do that. All the fun things of sardines. But they're not, anybody that knows me knows sardines are not my favorite thing to do. They are not something I enjoy. It is not something I love, but I love what they do for my body. I can't lie about the numbers. They do my body well. So what we're going to talk about today is I really want to go into, I want each of you to come in. So be thinking, what is a food addiction to you? What does food addiction look like to you? How does food control you? Give me some kind of little short snippet, nothing big. Just tell me how food controls you. And I want to go into in helping you be mindful of food controlling your world, food controlling your body, food controlling your health, because when food's in control, you're not. And the food is just taking over. So everything you do, everything you think about your coping skills. Think about every time you're stressed out, what do you turn to? Every time you're tired, what do you turn to? Every time you're bored, lonely, there's a million emotions we can attach to that. So let me know what is one food you're addicted to and when you find yourself using it. And I want to talk you through the sardine challenge then after that. So Pam, come on in. You come and I know Pam's working on this.
I'll tell you what, I'll go first.
Okay, you go first. Go.
Ice cream. Ice cream is the one food that will get me every time. I don't know why I don't know whether it's from my childhood or what, but there's something about ice cream. And as soon as we say it, it's on. I'm ready. Whatever it is, I'm done with it. I'm okay to do it. And it takes me back, I think, to a different time or whatever. It's like an escape thing, and whatever troubles or whatever things are going on at that time, it puts them on pause, and it's like a total enjoyment, the whole entire bowl or cup or cone or whatever. And it's like an escape thing. So that's what it is for me.
Oh, good job. But look how, because I know him, so I know when it's stressful, when it's hard, and he just wants that release and he wants that pressure off, ice cream's his go-to. So it's neat, but it's a positive thing to him. It's a positive memory, and it's a positive feeling that he gets from it. So that's where that dopamine's coming from for him. So good job. All right, Pam, come on in. You're up.
I gave you a little bit of time, Pam.
I appreciate that. Actually, I'm here just because I wanted to show up, and that is because normally when I'm feeling the way that I do, I disappear. I totally relate to what Lance is saying, and I did used to do that with ice cream. So I don't know, I can't explain how this program works, but food has become a nothing.
That's awesome.
This afternoon I was doing the dishes and my husband was like leaning over the sink because he didn't want to make a mess with what he was eating. And then he went, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm standing here eating right in front of you." And I was like, I didn't even notice.
But that's great.
However, well, I don't know if I should go further or not.
Go ahead.
It is totally up to you.
Food used to be everything to me because if you read my intro, there was a time in my life when I felt like I lost everything and had nothing and had no support and of any kind or anything. And then I grew up in a Scandinavian household and we baked on a regular basis, and so that was the one thing I could count on around the clock whenever I wanted it. And so I think that now I am grieving the loss of the thing that became the substitute for what got me through the day.
Yeah.
A lot. So.
And Pam, you're not alone in that at all. Please know, there's so many of us, I know in our big group and everything, that deal with food becomes your best friend. Food becomes your family. Food becomes your coping skill. Food becomes your enjoyment, your pleasure,
That big giant blanket.
Yep. It's a warm hug on a rough day. It's just food becomes all of that. And I think the biggest thing we start to learn in this, as we start to break down those addictions in the brain, when we want to make this health journey last a lifetime. And you have to break down one step at a time. What is the problem of why do you keep falling back to things? Why do you keep turning back to the bag of chips or chip dip or ice cream or whatever? Not that you can never have those things, but you got to break the addiction and that compulsiveness to go have it. When you have a treat or you want something like that, first of all, when you work through the addictions and you get all that crap out of your lifestyle, most of it does not even become appealing to go back. Like we used to, love a bag of Doritos and chip dip or something. And I can't imagine eating a Dorito right now. Like,
oh no,
like just a headache. Or we used to order Chinese takeout and you'd think, oh,
we drove by the Chinese restaurant the other night and we're like, oh, you remember that?
I'm like, that'd be an instant bellyache. But but it was our fun little date night. We'd grab a bottle of wine and order Chinese takeout, and it was our fun time. And realizing it wasn't the Chinese food that made it fun. It was our date night sitting around watching TV. It was Grey's Anatomy night, watch TV, have Chinese and drink a glass of wine. You put the connection when you can finally figure out what that food connection is and what that dopamine is bringing to you. It is not truly the food. The Chinese was nothing to write home about. I mean, it's just Chinese food takeout. So it was nothing big, but the moment and the time that we spent together is what was giving us that dopamine response. So we're saying that to say, when we figure out what the feeling is that you're missing, Pam, it was your best friend. It was your your confidant, your hug, your whatever you needed was your food. And we are taking that away right now. Mm-hmm. That makes emotions hard. And that's where I want to say, when you have a group, get in these tribes, get in your group, show up, get in there, talk, chat. It's annoying. Everybody has better things to do. Everybody's tired of their phones blowing up. But you know what? When you have nobody and you have the time to be able to get on and share with like-minded people, we're family here. So I'm glad you got on. So thank you for working through it.
Yeah. And kudos to you for getting on, because that's why we're here, for you guys to get on and just to be.
Instead of going and hiding.
Exactly. I mean, I'm an addict from way back. I mean, I used to smoke. I used to chew. I used to drink. You name it. I didn't ever do drugs, thank God, because I would have done it 100%. But that was my personality back then. And, that coping mechanism is not just food. There's a lot of different things that you're addicted to. And until you go through the process of elimination, you don't realize what you're actually addicted to. And I'm glad I'm here right now with the journey that I went through, that I don't do that anymore. Yeah. Because I'm better off for it. And so is she. But it's just the next step in the process. There's something else you'll probably be addicted to. But hopefully it's a good thing. you know,
And that's
turns
exactly
into-
it. We want to build healthy habits.
right.
And
It turns
healthy
into a
addiction.
healthy habit instead of an addiction.
Yeah. And you'll get there, Pam. And that's for everybody. That is why these groups are so important. And you guys truly do become our family. And we do care. You know, we don't want you set out alone. That's why I pass my damn phone number out. You know, it's one of those, do not sit at home alone on the edge when you need somebody, because life's too short and we're all in this together. But the addiction of the foods takes over. And what you're truly looking for is a dopamine response in your brain. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where those emotions hit in and what you're truly hitting. And then we're going to find a new dopamine response to replace it with. And then you can make this last a lifetime. You know, that's how this health journey is going to keep moving you forward. And hopefully those new dopamine responses will be what gets you moving, but you got to break the addiction first and then move into building a new habit and a new healthy dopamine response in the brain. And we'll get there. We just got to get there one step at a time. But first is learning to acknowledge what your addiction is. So Pam, I'm so proud of you.
And
I know it's a rough day and you're here.
Hopefully that addiction turns into being addicted to how good you feel.
Mhm.
And you just don't want to give that up.
And you feel
Right.
good. And you don't ever want to go back.
Nope.
You really don't.
Right.
So good job, Pam. We're glad you're here.
And please reach out
Yep, you reach out if you need us.
anytime.
Okay.
Okay. We mean that to everybody in here.
We're all in
That's
we're in this boat together.
that's why we're here.
So,
Okay. Thank you for coming, Pam.
yes, you'll get.
Thanks for being here.
No
You're welcome.
problem.
All right, Helen, what's your food addiction and what dopamine response are you looking for when you have it?
Okay, well, I just want to tell Pam I wrote a reply to her comment today, and I'm glad to see her today, and I've walked that road more than once. So my heart's with you. Just hang in there. And it takes a long time to be better, and I'm so much better from what all I've already walked through in my life. My addiction, most likely, I would say from long time ago, was chocolate, because I put 2 babies under the age of 2 in the car one night when my husband was working late and drove down to the corner store and bought chocolate bars and came back home and drug my 2 kids back in the house and put them back to bed.
That's an addiction for a mom to wake a sleeping baby. Come on.
God
That
love
shows.
you for taking the kids with you, though.
Yeah, right. So I have really worked on it this last 4 years of realizing that I probably turned to chocolate the most when I was tired, upset, felt unloved, stressed, worried, whatever. And now I'm realizing so much more the things that led to that addiction and whatever else I was eating under the table, and really have really worked on them so that it doesn't. That I realized the other night, I was just tired. Don't eat, go to bed. So I
Yep.
went to bed.
Great. You know, I think there's a lot to be said on, you know, what Pam was touching on, and Helen, you touched on it too. Lance had physical addictions. Like he's just that busybody. So he physically wants to keep eating. You know, he wants to snack, wants to stay busy, wants to whatever. I think a lot of us girls deal with it more of an emotional level. It's that comfort, it's that hug, it's that emotional connection that we're all needing. And I think the chocolate can do that, whatever your, you know, Pam's addiction is, you know, all those things, there's 2 different levels on it. So some of them are emotional or some of them are physical, but I think just learning to acknowledge them. And I really recommend everybody getting a journal and journal through it. Dr. Boz has her workbook. You can work through what you're feeling in the workbook, but just grab a journal if you don't have it. Work through when that craving hits and you turn first to your water. You know, you always hydrate when you hit a craving or urge. Compulsiveness, whatever it is, you got to figure out what's hitting. You always turn to your water first. Next is always my salt rocks. I keep them sitting here on my desk all day long. So I turn to a salt rock, get my rocks.
Don't even go there.
It's going to be one of those nights. Get the rocks in you if you need to. whatever, put the salt crystals under your tongue, whatever. If that doesn't work, get your journal out, start journaling and write down, start talking to yourself in your journal. What are you truly feeling? What's going on? Are you missing somebody? Are you lonely? Are you sad? Are you hurt? Are you stressed? Are you ticked off? Whatever. Work through that in your journal. Nobody has to, or you're bored. True. Work through that in your journal so that you can refer back to it. The next time this craving hits you is, what are you going to do about it? So work through those feelings. When you learn what those feelings truly are, then we replace that dopamine response you're looking for. But you got to acknowledge what the problem is first. Then we'll fix it, but you got to be truthful with yourself. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just being honest to yourself. Mine was a bowl of cereal. At the end of the night when I was tired, I used to put a bowl of cereal, just give me some Fruity Pebbles and some milk on them. And I was a happy girl. And it was just one of those things. That was my hug at the end of a night. Now I've switched that hug to cream in my coffee, and I just have to have that warm cream, and you learn. But it's almost like my hug at the end of the night. That's the only word that keeps coming to it, is I want that cream. So you got to keep working through it one step at a time. So good job, Helen. All right, we got another Tammy. Come on in, Tammy. Welcome.
Hi, Tammy.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. So I was here last week. I'm new.
Welcome.
Great.
It's been a pretty good week. I did the 72-hour fast last week. So this is kind of crazy. I'm just jumping back in with both feet, like into the deep end of the swimming pool. But I decided yesterday at about 38 hours that I was not going to do another 72-hour fast. Like, surprise, I think I hadn't been eating enough fat. Like last week, as I got back into keto, I was pounding the fat and I just felt great. And by the time I got to the point to start fasting, I was really geared up to fast. But I don't think I was eating enough fat coming into it yesterday. And so I just thought, not going to do it. But then I just saw your sardine challenge. And I know I said I can't do sardines, but I committed to at least opening a can.
That's a start.
It knocks me out.
No.
Don't even smell it. Just take a bite. Just
So
down.
did you start that today?
We started it yesterday. So we're doing a 3-day sardine challenge, and we will be doing that for the next probably 3 weeks. So instead of a 72-hour clean, we're getting those sardines in us for 3 weeks or 3 days, because what we're talking about is breaking the addictions to food in the brain. So sardines is a huge tool. I do not like them. I do not enjoy them, but I am telling you, they really are a great tool to use between your numbers getting really good and the chemistry in your body. But they are also a win for the chemistry in the brain to break the addiction, because every day, first of all, you have to have the confidence of knowing those sardines are giving you the nutrition you need. So if you're eating a can of sardines, you have nutrition in you. You are not hungry. You are not going to starve. There is nothing medically going to go wrong because you have a can of sardines in you and you're not eating. That takes you to the next mindset of, okay, what is it that's going on? Am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Am I bored, tired, whatever? And what are you turning to? I wanted to go grab a piece of cheese today. I was tired after classes. I was back to back all day. I had my little baby bells that I usually turn to. I didn't buy them this week on purpose. I don't want them in my fridge because I'm trying to break those habits. Out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to walk up and grab a piece of cheese. I'm pushing through it, but I'm figuring out, when am I looking at food? When am I turning to food for something other than nourishment? So you use the sardines as a tool. You get them in you to know in confidence that you have enough nutrition in you. Anything else that is poking at you is just poking at you. It's a habit. It's an addiction. It's a compulsion. It's whatever you want to call it, but it's not because you need nutrition. Okay. So work through those to break it.
Well, I hope that I can do it, because I think I said last week, like, the smell of tuna fish made me cry because it was so awful.
It is.
I love tuna fish, and I was fine with sardines before my sense of taste and smell changed from COVID. So I will. So I'll give it a try.
Yep. And the other thing I will say, sardines, the smell of sardines is what gets to me more than the taste. And I buy mackerel is the next step down. Mackerel, the smell is a total different ballgame. It's so much easier. It's just milder. But I still put my air fryer on the back porch to fry it.
Well, I feel like I'll either be able to do it or I won't. Like, I couldn't even have eaten tuna fish the last time I opened a can. the whole thing went in the garbage. It was very sad
Well,
because
that's
I
a
was
big thing to
really
do.
craving it, like a tuna salad. So, but my food addiction is probably sourdough bread because I'm a baker.
Oh, that's a good
I'm
one.
a baker, and boy, a piece of sourdough bread with butter slathered on it and a little bit of salt.
You're speaking my language, girl. I had it. You will appreciate this. I had a sourdough starter that I've had for decades. I've had it in the fridge for so long and not used it and not baked bread. And I just lost my starter. So I'm really
Well,
sad.
I bake for friends and neighbors, and so I don't know that I'll ever lose my starter. I can send you some more if you ever.
I might need to buy some starter dough off of you to get my stuff. I need one. It's just my little security. I don't use it that often, but when I want to make bread, it's there for the holidays. So.
Well, and they keep saying it's better than regular bread,
Yep.
but it's still just a ton of carbs. Like
It
there's
is.
no way around it. You
There's no
can't
nice
fool
way.
yourself. That was my slippery slope down out of keto, was sourdough bread.
Yep. Well, that's a good one. If you're going to have one, that's it's good. All right. Thanks, Tammy, for checking in.
And then, I wanted to make one quick point about the sardines. It's
Mhm.
not that it's just the sardines that gives you something to focus on when you're trying to take things away. At least, you can have sardines, like she said, like Tam said, you're going to have enough nutrients to go through that whole process of focusing on one thing to get you through that time
Mhm.
period sets you
Mhm.
up for your fast or for the steps to fast, because you have to focus on that end goal that no, I'm not really hungry. No, I can make this. I know I've done this. I've prepared myself. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. So just even that sardine challenge is setting yourself up for more determination and more success later. It's not necessarily the sardines are magic. They're just,
I don't know. They sound magic.
They are
Yeah,
kind of magic. What they
but-
do to your numbers and everything, they really are. So it changes your chemistry and it changes the mindset in your brain, because the other thing you're working on when you get a can of sardines in you, there's nobody sitting down overeating on sardines. So it's teaching you how the bolus of food, the size of food that you need, the quantity of food that you need is really not. We're so used to, it's nothing to go to a restaurant and order a 22-ounce ribeye, and it goes down, kind of thing, that it's like, we don't need that much nutrition at any one time, but it helps you see that little can of sardines, you're fine. It's working on the portion size and portion control. It's working on not having, you don't need 6 things in one meal, just all those habits or the variety and things like that. So it works on so many levels, plus what it's doing to your numbers. We're in the 21-day course with drboz right now, and it is amazing to see when you see everybody's numbers at the first of the sardine challenge, and by the 3rd day, it is crazy just what eating these stupid sardines do the whole time. So it is kind of magic, and it changes the whole chemistry shift in your body. Most people start fasting to get into ketosis. We get into ketosis to start fasting. Having those sardines before you start your fast is going to be the best prep you can do to make it on a fast. It's amazing. Time after time, you can prove it to yourself. If we start that 72-hour clean fast with sardines, it goes the easiest 72 hours you'll ever have.
Awesome.
There's something cool about it. So, all right, come on in. Sean, glad to have you back again tonight, bud. Come check in.
How you doing, Sean?
Tell us your food addiction and what it feeds. What's it give you?
Oh my goodness. I think now it's eggs.
Well, that's a good addiction.
Yeah, well, it is now. It used to my food addiction was probably 2-liter Dr. Peppers and Jersey Mike's footlong subs.
Oh, there you
The
go.
giant ones. I don't know. It don't even matter what kind, as long as it's bigger than my plate.
Oh, so how'd you break it?
Honestly, when I first started eating like this, I heard you could eat all you wanted to.
Mhm.
And my biggest thing was focusing on breaking that addiction and changing the relationship that I have with food.
Amen.
So I wasn't worried about weight loss. I wasn't worried about all the other things outside of that. I know what to call it now, but at the time I didn't know what to call it. I didn't have words for it. So like, you know, I was getting full of what I could have to keep me from wanting what I couldn't have, what I didn't need, if
Yep.
that makes any sense. So like,
Yep.
you know, and you know, the stuff that I'm reading now makes a lot of sense to me, explaining some of the psychology about what was happening is we eat to grow to have energy, right? So it's, at first it has to be about mindset. It's 100% about mindset. If you can train your mind, like the body is the easy part to fix. Those emotional attachments to the food, those addictive traits, those are not easy to break. Right. Because it's a mental thing. Not you're trying to change a physical trait with a mental attachment to it. And the only way that I know that I could do that, and the way that I did that, was by you don't want anything when you're full. So I had to stay full of what I could have.
Nice.
You know, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And it worked for me. And I could actually do that long enough to break the physical cravings of it. And then I could work on the mindset. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And Sean, what feeling back when you were having the 2 liters of Pepsi and the footlong
Dr. Pepper
or Dr. Pepper, whatever, what feeling, what emotion did you attach to that? Was that more of a coping skill for you, or was it more, what was you turning to for that? Or was it just your everything?
No, I think that, like any other habit or addiction, whatever you want to call it, you know, no matter what it is or what the name of it is, we're trying to fill a void in our lives with some object, whether it be food, drugs, relationships, whatever, to get a feeling that to replace a feeling that we used to have that we don't have anymore. And we're trying to replace it with something that'll never be able to take its place.
Everybody catch that?
That's awesome.
What he's saying right there is the next step of what you're looking for. Once you acknowledge and figure out what your addiction is, then you're going to figure out what dopamine response you're looking for to fill. He's looking to fill a dopamine response. And if you go back, it's Helen's chocolate that she drugged 2 kids out of bed. You know, Lance's my bowl of cereal. Everybody, it's filling a dopamine response. We get that buzz from whatever it is, whether it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, a bowl of cereal, or a footlong sandwich. You know, it's one of those, you're filling that dopamine response in the brain. So what you do is when we change these habits and we're taking all these foods away from you, there is an emotional response that's going to come, and you're grieving physically and emotionally the loss of these foods that we turn to. So the next step in that is when you acknowledge that and work through the emotional side of it, now you get to go and figure out, how are you going to fill that dopamine response? What are you going to do? And this is the homework I want to give all of you this week. I want you to go soul searching. I want you to go sit by yourself. What is something that brings a dopamine response to you? Something you truly love and enjoy, whether it's writing a friend, making a phone call, writing a card, calling somebody, go for a walk, Bible study, journal. Listen to music. I mean, I'm a Michael Stanley lover. I'm telling you, when I'm stressed out and I can put his music on and just listen to it, it's in the cells of my body of calming me down. I mean, it's like a Xanax for my soul, is to just listen to his music and his voice. And when you find whatever those things are that give you that dopamine response, that's when you start to heal the brain from the addiction of what you used to turn to food for. I don't need to turn to food every time I want something. I need to fill that dopamine response and get that uplifting feeling that I'm wanting. That's a chemical reaction in your brain that you literally can change. You have to build a new neural pathway. So acknowledge the addiction, figure out what feeling it is you're feeling in the midst of that addiction. And then we're going to replace that with something with a dopamine response that is a positive influence on your health, that's not detrimental to your health. Does that make sense what we're trying to do? Does everybody get that? That you got, and do the work. I know nobody wants to journal and say, oh my gosh, I'm carrying around a journal. Do the work, because it's your brain that is going to benefit from it. You know, there is no accident that Dr. Boz taught us how to get into deep ketosis, then into the brains course to heal the brain. And again, I'm going to be getting that set up and starting working on it on the back end of the website and everything right now. So we're going to get the brains course up and going, but you got to get that brain in ketosis to be able to heal the brain. So that's why we got to learn how to do this part of it, so we can get over and do that deep healing at the mitochondrial level and just get everything going. So we've got to do the steps. So work through the issues that you're dealing with, so you know exactly what you're doing to move forward. So thanks for
Well-
sharing that,
Well
Sean.
said, Sean.
Yeah,
That
very
was-
good.
That was good.
Great.
I read, if I just want real quick, like I read something, last week or week before. It says people don't change until not changing is the less comfortable option.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And I
Amen.
was like, that's crazy. But at the same time, have a plan, like she's saying, because I
Hard.
had a plan. If you just go with the flow, you're going to end up wherever it takes you. That's no way to make changes, and you got to have a plan. So
And you
sit
got to
down-
realize that nothing changes if nothing changes. So
Right.
if you don't make a change, you are going to fall off. It's the same thing I'm explaining to the people in the 21-day course. You just paid $1,000 for 21 days of input. Day 22, I don't want you going back to day 1. Day 22 is just the catalyst to get you going in the right direction to build a lifestyle now, to change. You have to make the changes or your health is not going to change. And that is ultimately what we're all here for, is the health goals.
That's what I was thinking about with the bread. Like, and this may be completely out of line. If it is, just tell me, because I'm a big boy. I got my thick skin on, but like, don't have any reserves to go back to the life that you're trying to change from. Right.
Yep.
So like, if that means throwing the starter dough out, if that
Yep.
means getting mine was a leather lazy boy chair, but I held on to it with a death grip.
Yep.
Spent hours in that chair playing video games, staying up all hours of the night. I had an emotional attachment to a leather chair. Okay. That's addiction. That is an emotional attachment.
Yep.
You have to, if you're going to change your life, just like I did, and don't believe me, I don't have all the answers. I don't have it all figured out. I'm in the journey. I just might be just a tad bit up the road from where you're at right now. And I may be behind some of where you guys are as well. But like, abandon the life that you're trying to change. Don't try to take that with you. That's extra luggage that makes the journey heavier than it needs to be.
Absolutely.
And I'm done. That's it. That's all.
No,
I got.
very well said, brother.
Some of you that are newer to us, I know Wayne will know the story, but Lance and we'd sit down at night and watch TV. And first commercial, Lance go pee and I'd go to the fridge. Next commercial, I'd go pee and he'd go to the fridge. We'd rotate through that. So we took a whole summer and we never turned our TV on because it was the food addiction, food commercials and everything like that. So we made it the whole summer. We went boating, went for a walk, did whatever we wanted to do, but we did not sit down on that damn couch and watch TV because it was just going to go downhill. We spent the whole year that way, to where it was like, we had to break that addiction. And now it's like, when we watch TV, now we choose to. Now we can do it without it being a big problem.
And the bad thing is we notice every food commercial and it's amazing. And we just sit there and shake our heads like, really? Can you believe this?
One more time, 6 commercials in a row. Every one of them is either drugs or food.
Yep.
Or sex.
Right. Exactly. All right. Come on in, Wayne. Come on in and tell us how your week's going. We've missed you guys.
Going well. I was going to do just a water fast this week, but I got curious on what kind of response I would get from sardines. So I guess I didn't do officially the way Boz teaches it, because I didn't start the fast with sardines. I just quit eating. But about 18 hours in, I had 2 cans of sardines. 1 wasn't enough, 2 was too many. So I don't know what kind of, next time I probably won't plan on having one until noon tomorrow now. But I'll see how that goes.
A couple ways you could handle that is open your eating window up and have 1 can at the beginning of the eating window and 1 can at the end of the eating window. But I'd really challenge you to get them in you. And I know you're the numbers guy, so I can't wait to see what your charts do, what your numbers do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with them.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. We went to Sam's Club and we went to both a Sam's Club and a BJ's, and I was going to pick up sardines and neither one of them had them. So I'm like,
Is that a sign or what?
It's like Boz, creating a whole, shortage of sardines in the country now.
Right.
Best get some money in that stock.
You're a stock on them babies. It's the only thing anybody can afford to eat anymore, that and liver.
Right. I like liverwurst, so that wouldn't bother me either doing that.
See.
As for addictions, mine always ended up being, I think, I wouldn't have called it boredom, but
Almonds.
if there, yeah, almonds are, but that's a great example. If there's a bag open of something in my house, my hand's gonna be in it. The
I'm
one
with
could be
you on
in,
that one.
there could be a bag of chips, there could be a bag of almonds, there could be a bag of M&Ms. If it's unopened, I wouldn't be the one opening it. It wouldn't bother me. As soon as I knew it was open, that was game on. I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna go until they're done.
I love it, Wayne. I'm with you, brother.
You are his brother.
So
Goal is to get to the bottom of whatever the bag is. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
it is.
yeah, it really wouldn't matter what it is. I would just, every commercial or anytime I walked by, my hand would be in the bag. So that was always my problem.
Yep.
So we just try not to have that stuff around.
Is anybody else's kitchen looking like you're really like starving to death or something? My kids kind of laugh when they come over to our house now. The fridge, is just eggs and meat and soda water. There's not much left in the canning closet. There's not much left in the pantry. Is anybody else's house looking pretty bare when you actually get it cleaned out? I hope. Think of all the things that you used to buy when when we go to Sam's Club or anything like that to stock up on things, it's just huge. Think of all the aisle. We don't even walk down the aisles anymore. It's literally grab our stuff and go. So it just makes things easier. But
Cheese is something I have to keep an eye on. If I'm making cheeseburgers, make sure I only take the slices out that are going on the burgers and not, 5 or 6 more, that kind of thing.
Lance puts a couple on the burgers and then eats the rest.
Not the rest. I have
But
a few. I got to make sure it's good.
That's a little temptation.
All right.
On the topic of addiction, though, I was going to share. I just listened within the last couple of weeks to a podcast by Philip Ovadia. He's the one that wrote the book "Don't End Up on My Table." He's a cardiac surgeon.
Yep.
And if you listen to his backstory, it's very similar to the rest of us, where he, really got, to a middle age where he was not healthy and way overweight and such. So he changed that lifestyle. He has a podcast. I think it's also called, Stay Off My Table or something like that. And he had Ben Azadi on his show a few weeks ago, and they got on the topic of addiction. And probably, they had a nice 20-minute conversation about it. And one of the things that Ben shares about addiction, he goes, it's not a clinical definition, but he basically looked at it and said, addiction is kind of like having a superpower, but it's focused on a negative behavior.
Yeah.
We don't call addiction to a positive behavior really an addiction.
Yep.
So it's trying to break the addiction, at least for him. He claims that it was trying to take that exact same energy and focus it on something positive, which I guess is the same thing you're saying about finding a dopamine response.
Yep.
To something different than this negative behavior.
Yep.
So I guess if that's something that people are struggling with, you might get some value out of looking up that podcast. It's only a week or two old, so shouldn't be too hard to find.
Good.
But
that's a good deal.
Yep.
I think that is so true, is just learning to replace the old ones, replace what the addiction is with something positive. And you hear so many addicts that even come off of drugs and then turn to the carbs and sugar or whatever, that they just turn to another negative. And I think that's where we got to work on making these things positive changes, we're not making a lateral move. We're wanting to make a positive for growth, our health journey. So we got to make that positive interjection of what you're going to put there, replace the negative and just get it out. So you got to move in the right direction and then reestablish a new habit. So
yep.
Good job, Wayne. Thank you.
Good job,
Come on
man.
in, Linda and Rob. Come and tell us what's your food addiction and what feeling does it give you?
We're glad we finally got in. I had problems with computers again. The other laptop, we don't have any audio. And
Oh,
it's
geez.
frustrating. Yeah, so anyway, we were able to get on. Food addictions.
I don't think it matters. Whatever there is.
That's good.
Whatever there is.
Is there a certain feeling you try to cover and mask up when you're wanting something that you notice keeps popping to the forefront?
Probably just I'm tired and I refuse to go to bed.
There
So
you go.
tired, bored. I don't know. What's been helping with it though is after dinner we come up to the loft area, and I don't want to walk back downstairs. So
Well, there you go.
Good.
Good. Use it to your
That simple
benefit.
step is it might sound insignificant to you right now, but you're putting distance between you and the thing that's holding you back. So you're already physically separating yourself. So that's going to lead to your mindset being separated from it soon.
Yep.
So.
Good job. Good job. What's yours, Rob? What's your addiction?
Ice cream, cherry chip ice cream.
Cherry chip ice cream. Yeah, there was a time when I just couldn't get enough of it, but overall thinking about it, I was telling Linda about it. I'm fortunate. I have a fast metabolism or a tapeworm. I'm not sure which, but all my life I could always eat a lot, and I'm 5'10", and I think maybe my heaviest when I was drinking beer was 151 pounds.
Good
So I'd be
Lord.
between 140 and 150 pounds, but I would eat a lot. And in fact, I just started thinking about it. When I die, a couple of our friends, I don't want to be remembered as the guy who ate the whole breakfast at Crazy Otto's, because he was huge. And everyone looks at me and go, "That no way he can eat that." Yeah, no problem. I put it down, and I could just eat and eat and eat, And now that we're doing this, and really since the time we've cut down our eating window, I've realized all my life I've been overeating.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
really even aware of it,
Another really cool moment in that is just because you're tiny and just because, you're at your ideal weight, BMI, whatever.
You're blessed.
You are blessed that you can carry the amount of food that you ate and be able to carry it with the physique that you have. But what I'm really curious of, it doesn't mean the inside is healthy. It doesn't mean the cells are healthy. It does not mean, that is the win in it. To see what you're truly doing, cleaning it up and getting in that eating window and everything. Now you're building cellular health, not just because you're little. Yep. Or does anybody have the friend that's the skinny friend that you see eat everything and they act like they have no health issues? It's like, just because you're skinny does not mean you're healthy. I was one of them people. I was 95 pounds after 2 kids. I taught fitness. I did personal training, everything. Didn't mean I was healthy. I was drinking fruit smoothies like they were going out of style. It was like there was no way my glucoses, if I didn't eat every 2 hours, I was going to pass out. I was not healthy. Yeah, I was tiny. I was built great, but it didn't mean I was healthy at the cellular level, kind of thing. So I applaud you for noticing that. And that's still, you got to have it to change and an addiction to break, just like the rest of us. So what feeling do you think food was giving you? Is it just your constant comfort or part of your identity, maybe, of being able to be that guy that ate like that?
I think so. I think part of my identity. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
which, I think about it
you.
now, that doesn't make any sense,
Right. But when you look back at it, you got to look at it from outside looking in and realize, oh my gosh, that's what food was doing to me. That is what I turn to every time I'm bored. That is what, or you were a big eater, you probably got applauded for it as a young guy, going out to eat and you could pound all the, your body weight in meat or whatever, that's a cool thing for a guy. But when you're looking at it now, there's just things that you can look back at and think that was a total addiction, not
if your body can keep up with the way you were treating it with the food,
Can you imagine?
can you imagine now that you clean that up, what your body can actually do on the inside,
Yeah.
and then it comes out? I mean, your outward appearance was so-called healthy, was so-called okay. Now that you've known that you've put that much crap in your system, and your system could deal with it for a short time there, you know what I mean? Now you start to clean that up. Can you imagine what the inside of your body is going to be now, from now on?
I'm
That's gonna
looking forward to that.
that's only going to affect your mind. That's going to affect your energy. I mean, it's just going to be so much more. You're really gonna, when you turn it on, you're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah. Linda, I do want to challenge you though. I want you to get your journal back out, and I want you to push through that thing of just being tired and wanting to eat because you're bored. Let's find you something. I want you to find something that you thoroughly enjoy. Do you like to knit, crochet? I don't care.
Well, I've been crocheting at night when we come up here.
Good.
I've been practicing that, of course, when I paint, I always feel a lot of enjoyment from that, but I
Good.
haven't been able to even get out in my studio. We've just been on such a dead run.
But-
I get to the point I'm so tired, I can't even
Find
think about
something.
getting out there.
But we are getting a routine, and
Yeah,
now
we're
that
establishing a routine.
we're not grazing all day,
Yeah.
we can go ahead and put into play some of these things we want to do instead of that, and
For home long enough.
yeah, if we're home long enough. But
Hey,
we
you're staying
did
busy.
jump on board. We're doing the sardine fast,
Good.
and
I can't wait to see your numbers at the end of it. I really am curious to see what everybody's numbers are going to do. It's a game changer. I'm telling you, as much as I hate to admit it, it really is. So
Well, you know what you said about just because you're thin. When I got to my thinnest point after my gastric bypass, I knew I wasn't healthy.
mhm.
I may look healthy to other people, but I knew I didn't feel healthy.
Yep.
And so I always knew that.
There's a
Our-
difference. And can't you see it, like even in everybody's faces? I always know when I start a new class and we get about that 6 week in, you can see the glow in people's faces when they hit that glow, when they're getting that cellular turnover and they're truly getting in ketosis, and like everything just
Comes
changes. You
from
can
the-
see it.
Yeah, you can see it. It goes from the inside out,
And
and it's the whole.
It's men, women, young and old. Everybody does it. It's like you can just see the health coming out of you. I mean, it's like, I love it. And I always say every time I start a new class, I'm going to take a snapshot of the screen so everybody can see the difference 6 weeks in.
Day one to the last day, you would be so surprised.
You literally see them when you can tell when their chemistry starts to shift because they're getting that sight. And I look at it, if my skin on the outside is glowing and soft and supple, what is that doing to my arteries and my veins on the inside? What is my muscles doing? Everything, if it's that much on the outside, that's the cells on the inside too. So take the win, just take that we're in it for the long haul. So good job.
But hang in there, guys.
Hang in there, guys. Get that journal out though, Linda, and figure out what we're dealing with. Come on in,
Okay.
Mike. Come and say hi and introduce yourself. Give us a food addiction and what it does for you. If you're able to jump in.
All right, I will do
There you
that.
go. Hello,
Hi, Mike.
welcome.
Hey, my name is Mike, and I'm still at work, so I'm over on the California coast, and so kind of listening in as I'm working here. But
Nice.
my food addiction is really anything that has a sweetness to it. So I am definitely a sugar addict, and have been on the journey of trying to figure out how to lose weight for about the last 7-8 years. Have tried all kinds of different things, and so it's been probably about six months now that I've kind of followed drboz, and have been doing keto for about 4 months. So
Nice.
I think the thing that I'm trying to deal with when it comes to eating is I cope with my anxiety, I cope with my anger, I cope with fear. I cope with whatever emotions I don't want to deal with.
Food.
Typically that's what I deal with it through food. That's how I grew up. You ate if you were happy, you ate if you were sad, you ate any of those
Drown your
emotions.
sorrow.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And we even did it, I mean, celebration.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you won a game in Little League, you always went out for pizza. And so it was just, food was always kind of the reward and the coping mechanism. And so I really have been trying to figure that out. So yeah, that's a little bit of my journey and
Glad you're
my
here, man.
struggle there.
Yes.
Glad you're
I
here.
appreciate it.
Glad
I
you're
honestly
here.
have been looking for a support group. I've been a part of 12-step groups in the past and have been trying to figure out how do I find that kind of support in a keto setting. And so
Here we are.
it really is it's a joy to find you and be a part today. So thanks.
Excellent.
Well, nice.
We'll be here every Monday,
Every Monday we're here and
same
we're
time.
Boz's page, and we have a group over on Facebook. Anybody that's not joined that yet, it's Journey to Keto with Tammy Laubacher over on Facebook, and we're always over there helping out over there. That's pretty much our keto journey. Over there on that page is our keto people that we kind of help along a little bit too, as well as over on Boz's page. So welcome, Mike. Glad to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great.
Who we have? Susan. There you go. Got Susan in the corner. Come on, baby. Out of the corner. Come on in. Tell us what's your food addiction and what's it do for you?
I have had many food addictions, many. Started with butter and sugar.
Butter and sugar.
Yeah, when I was a kid. And that's really a long time ago. And it was basically self-soothing. And my last one that I kind of abandoned is sourdough bread. Just to make everybody feel comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's got some good bread to go stories.
Yeah. What can you do?
Right.
So good.
It is.
So that's my story.
Okay. So what I want everybody to do, I mean, everybody here's the same, we have the same journey. We're on the same journey. Doesn't matter what that food is. Doesn't matter what the emotion you had connected to it. We all have to do the same work. We have to break that connection and put in a new dopamine response. Dopamine is that hormone that makes your brain feel, that makes you feel good, that you're looking for. It's what sex, it's what happiness, it's what joy, all of that is dopamine. Come on in, Susan. Yep.
Yeah, I have a question. Can you mix mayo with the sardines if you're going to do the fast?
Yes, as little as you need to get them down. So if that's what it takes, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of mayonnaise, that's at least
hot sauce.
it's the least of your worries, whatever it's got to get them down the hatch.
Okay, yeah, I just wondered about that. So it's still the sardine fast if you know.
Well, it's a sardine challenge because it's not a true fast. We talk about a fast, it's water, black coffee, black tea, and salt.
When we say fast, we mean a clean fast.
A clean
Everything else is a challenge.
So sardine challenge. So as many as you need right now for the nutrition, eat them. If you're hungry, you eat sardines. It's basically to work through it.
Okay. I might be able to choke some down.
Yep. And you'll be amazed. Make sure you check your glucose ketones, see what your DBR is when you start, and then see what it is at the end. It's amazing.
The last 2 times I've eaten sardines, I've actually just broken open the can and went right in. Didn't add nothing to them. Just went for it. And I'm surprised that they're not as bad as I've always thought.
Yeah.
I don't know about it.
Thank you.
So, but anyways, I want everybody, your homework this week, I want you to have your journal out, have a notebook out. I want you to be being mindful, especially those of you doing the sardine challenge. When that feeling pops up of, I just want to go grab whatever, get your journal out. What are you truly feeling? Are you lost, lonely, bored, whatever? Work through it in your journal, write it out, because the next time it hits, I want you to go back to that last entry and look at it. Okay, I'm craving this. I want this. I'm desiring this. I'm ticked off. Go back and look at it so you can start putting reason to these struggles that you're having, because these are the roadblocks that you're going to hit off the program that's going to hit you when reality kicks you in the gut and life isn't always easy and fun, and the fun is wore off your journey. Now you got to turn back to reality. Now you got to look back and dig in deep to keep going on this journey. So it's just a lot of things you can do, but you got to do the work. you got to dig in and figure out what it is that's truly bothering you, so we can get you to move forward in your health journey.
And that way, and then that way you can cope when you get that feeling starting to come on. You don't panic and you don't jump off the boat. You just sit there and you say, wait a minute, I've been here before. I can do this. I need to do this, or I need to focus on that.
Or I need to redirect. I'm getting ready to go down an ugly road. I need to redirect. If
Yep.
that means I need to get up and go for a walk because I need to be away from the
I
refrigerator.
need to go work out. I need to go wash the car. I need to go mow the lawn, whatever it is.
But it's not to go open the refrigerator
Yep.
because I'm bored or lost or lonely. So, hey, Miss Diane, glad to see you, Mama. Couple things I want to throw out before everybody starts jumping off. I know we're at the top of the hour here. KetoCon, I've just on with Hack Your Health and KetoCon today. It is confirmed we will be there. Not sure what I'll be doing yet, but we will be there. So we're excited. We already have, I want to tell you though, if you think you're going to be going, start planning now.
There's a big special going on right
Big
now.
special right now. She's got the tickets cut in half. So if you want the 3-day pass to get in, it's on sale right now for $149 until the 1st of October. Use my code JTK50 and you will get $50 off, which means you're going to have a 3-day pass into one of the biggest, best conventions you could go to for $99.
For $100.
$100, you are in the door for all 3 days.
You can't, as
can't beat that.
much information as you can get in those 3 days, you would spend 10 times that.
I mean, truly. So get your tickets now beforehand, before they go up. They'll progressively go up as of October 1st. So between now and then, this is the cheapest you're going to get them. If you think you're going to go, it's May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd in Austin, Texas at the Palmer Center. We will be there. Not sure if I'm speaking or paneling or what we're doing yet, but we're going to be there. So it's one of those, Robin's got an amazing lineup already. I mean, she's turning it into Hack Your Health. So it's going to be hackyourhealth.com. And you're going to be able to get your tickets there and everything. But we're so excited. We're going to try to plan a meetup with our people. We'll be a little bit better at it this time because we know what to expect. Last year, we were kind of winging it. So we'll know a little bit better this year what to expect and what to do. So we'll try to do some meetups.
And right across the street is one of the best barbecue places in the state. Terry Black's is right across the street.
Lance and I and Wayne and Diane, and there's a couple other folks off the tribe here with us. We went there. I swear to God, we ate our body weight in meat. They lost that day. It was the best meal.
They sell it by the pound.
We looked like a bunch of barbarians, but it was phenomenal. So it was really good. But any questions for this week? Diane, do you want to come check in? Diane, we're having everybody tell us what is your food addiction and what feeling does it feel for you? And you're muted. Let me get you unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Now
Yep.
I can. Yes. What's your food addiction? And what does it do for you?
Okay. Food addiction. What food addiction? Is that what you're saying? And I'm on the tail end of this, but I could eat my weight in that meat that you're talking about or chocolate. Either one.
So what's
Either
the
one.
chocolate? When you're wanting the chocolate, what did the chocolate back in the old days? What did the chocolate do for you?
And I was not able to figure this out until I think it was KetoCon in Texas, actually. And it was just something a speaker said that it's like, but chocolate, I was the oldest of four children. And when the younger ones would start, being put to bed, my daddy and myself would eat chocolate, like chocolate covered peanuts or chocolate.
So you got to bond with your daddy.
Or chocolate ice cream. And so I think it brings back that for me. Yeah. And so what I've tried to do is figure out, okay, well, what else could if I'm doing that to get that feeling, that memory of him, what else could I do that would give me that same feeling?
Absolutely.
Maybe?
What could you do?
So I don't know if that's what you were asking or not. But
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But learning that chocolate connection was about me, that special time with your daddy, So now find another way to honor your daddy. Do something that you and your daddy love to do besides eat chocolate. And it's still loving him and honoring him. It's not to break that honor and everything, but it's turning it into something positive. So I love that, man. Good job. And nice work on figuring that out. So, all right. Anybody else?
I got something to add. Yeah.
Go ahead. Jump in.
Okay. I know a lot of people are saying, I think Tammy said something about she got as far as opening a can of sardines, but just the natural displeasure in it.
Well, because
Linda and I have tried like the Tiny Tots and Chicken of the Sea sardines and a bunch of others, but we found that the seasoned sardines, they taste very similar to the mackerel, and like the other brands, yeah, Frank's hot sauce, that really helps them. But the seasons, they are good just plain. I bit into them today and I thought, wow, these are good just how they are.
Yeah.
And what else has I think been helping is that we'll open the grilled mackerel and kind of share the cans, each of the cans.
Ooh,
So
I never had the grilled. Yeah, I have to try that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
And those are very tasty too. No fish taste at all, really.
well, no,
That's-
they're fishy tasting, but they're not. I don't think they're quite as fishy tasting as the sardines. So I mix them with,
There you go. Absolutely.
and it helps the sardines go down because they're not my
Sometimes-
favorite.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Oh, yeah, Mary
That's it.
in the corner.
Look at Mary Lou, you're back. Hello.
Hang on. You're muted, Mary Lou. There you go.
I know, I'm the crazy one who keeps on going in and out of these things. I'm on the West Coast also. I'm an insurance broker. I'm in the middle of meetings that are just going nonstop. It's just been crazy. Anyway, King Oscar sardines. I don't know if
Yep.
any of you guys have tried these. These
Those are
are the white wine vinegar and caper.
Oh,
So you bite into if you like capers, if you like that vinegar taste, I like these.
good deal.
And I mix them. I'll have the ones that you just showed before, and then the next one I'll have these guys. So I mix it up. So it feels like I'm tasting something different.
Where did you get those, Mary Lou?
I ordered them on Amazon.
Amazon had
Okay.
It was an
everything.
Amazon order. I didn't find them locally. I just found them on Amazon. I was just looking for different flavored ones. And I do lemon juice and I do salt and pepper again, just to break it up.
Good job.
Okay.
Nice.
Man, this is
I
awesome.
love it. I love the ideas and everything because sardines are not an easy food to get down. But, when you realize the magic that they really do and how much control they give you back over your life. And it's not to say you're never going to have those things that you crave or you're never going to have those things that matter to you. You got to break the addiction first. Then you can go back to it in moderation. Then you can go back because you choose to, not because
It controls
it
you.
controls you. And that's the difference of it. And then, when you can go in and have a bite of ice cream or a little bit of ice cream once or twice a year or whatever on your birthday, or you want to have a celebration, that's different than I need that bowl of cereal or scoop of ice cream every night on the couch just to calm myself down.
And it doesn't lead you off the path. It doesn't, give you an excuse to jump off the boat either. So you can have it and say, okay, I plan to have that. Now that's not what I normally do. So I'm going back to what I normally do.
Yep. So, all right. Any
This has been an
questions?
awesome night.
Yeah, it's been a great night. Any questions for anything for the week that you don't know what you're doing or what you want to do? Come on in, Helen. Hang on, you're muted, hon.
There you go.
Thanks. Avocados.
Be careful.
I mean, they're good fat, but they're so high in carbs.
Yeah, you have the oil. If you want to have the avocados, you have the oil. You really got to watch the actual fruit because there's so many carbs in them. So make sure you're putting them in chronometer so you know where you're at.
Right.
It's not that you can't have any, but you got to be really careful and really mindful of those because those will add up really quick.
We made that mistake.
We were eating guacamole by the
We had
gallons.
guacamole all the time on everything. And then we got
Then you start
chronometer
tracking and you're like, dang,
and we were like, uh-oh.
not working.
I know. Thank you. You did. All right.
You got
yeah.
it, Helen.
I think what is it? Half a Haas avocado is
12, I think.
yeah, 12 or 13 carbs,
I don't
something
know,
like
it's
that. It's
something
crazy.
Yeah.
It is. It's something awful. But remember, everybody, please, if you plan on going to KetoCon, please go get your tickets before the prices start going up because
Yep.
they literally, it'll be a $300 ticket.
Usually the normal price of the ticket is $349. That's for the 3-day pass. Right now they're on sale for $149. Now if
Tell
you
me the code again, Tammy.
J-
JTK
Wait a minute, JTK.
50. I was hoping you would say it with me.
So JTK 50, that'll give you another $50 off. So like I said, you will get a 3-day pass for $99. So it is a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of information. You will literally be rubbing elbows with the people that you love and enjoy the most in this community. They're all there. This is where you get to stand around and talk to them.
You can walk up to drboz. You can walk up to Ken Berry. You can walk up to Ben Azadi. Whoever's going to be there, they are accessible to everyone.
Yeah, it's such a win. So, but it's truly one. Start planning now. Austin isn't the cheapest city to go hang out in. So plan now, get you on your schedule, start saving and make it be a treat, because you will not regret the knowledge you're going to walk away from. It's more there than your brain can absorb. So Susan, you got a question?
It's Tammy.
Go ahead, Sue.
It's on the ketocon.
ketocon.com, or they also have Hack Your Health now. They've changed websites, so they redirect. So both will work, but it's Hack Your Health. And hang on, I can put the link right here in the
Nope. There it is.
hackyourhealth.com.
Copy that.
Hang on, I'll put it in the chat, and then I will also be posting it over on the group page, so it'll be there. And then it's JTK 50 to save.
And I just put it up on YouTube as well, in the comments.
There you go. So it's in the chat, and then we'll put it over in the group. It'll start running the promos pretty soon on over on the page, so it'll be there. But I just really, before October 1st is the best deal you're going to get. So it's just, I'm really excited that it's that cheap for right now. So it's a nice weekend. It's busy. It's a lot to take in.
Make sure you put a lot in your Uber account.
Yeah. Right. So we don't have to drive anywhere because traffic's crazy. Let them people that know what they're doing drive. But no, it's a great venue. It's a great place to be. It's just a good one. It's really, we love it. We will continually go back. It's just not a question. We love it. So any questions? Anybody not sure what's going on for the week? Do your sardines, get your journal out, and let's work on breaking some habits.
Yep.
All right, everybody.
And hang in there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where to get a hold of us at. And don't be afraid to use it.
Journey to Keto. Hang on. Sorry, grandkids are coming in. Journeytoketo.com is the website, and Journey to Keto with Tammy is over in the group. So come and check in. Tell us what you need. All right. We love you.